because I just have to be honest with you in terms of what the research says and why people get slaughtered when it comes to the stock market. Well, if you know anything about sheep, you know that one thing a sheep will get is a sheep will always be slaughtered. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the difference between the different categories of investors and the different mindsets of investors, and how to avoid sort of being in that bad category. Like they say that every stock market has innovators, then you have imitators, and then you have what they call the idiots. And I don't want you to be the idiots. The idiots are the ones who kind of copy the imitators, and they don't quite know why they're doing it. They're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. And give me a yes if you've seen that before. Give me a yes if you think that maybe some of us as Black people maybe have a little bit more of a challenge with that, because we tend to really want to stick with things that are trendy and what everyone else is doing, or look for external validation for our next move, as opposed to simply just making the move because we internally believe that this is something that needs to happen, right? And so I think that that's a kind of a critical way to kind of think about investing, because if you don't, then bad things happen. And then what happens is, then when bad things happen, you come back and people say, "See, I told you that that investing is bad. I told you that investing will cause you to lose your money. I told you that the stock market is the devil." And I'm kind of like, well, no, the stock market is not really the devil. The devil is in whoever told you to approach it the way you kind of approach it. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It just means that if you approach things in the wrong way, like if I get in a car and I close my eyes and drive 100 miles an hour down the freeway, and I die in the crash, and I come back from heaven and I say driving is bad, well, that's not exactly the whole story. You know, I'm indicting the driving process. I'm blaming automobiles. You know, anybody who's ever made an automobile is a killer. Hey, no, that's not true. They're not killers. You killed yourself. Right? So just let we I want us to kind of process it that way. All right, so let me shout out to your city too if you want to. I'd love to shout out your city, especially those of you that are international. As you guys know, every morning we do Money in the Morning, financial consciousness. This is where we talk about the art of economic elevation, and we do this every morning at 10 a.m. And I know that to join, to you get on the text list. The text list is text the word morning to 87948. That's how I send you guys notifications of when we have class, stuff like that. Text morning to 87948. Some of you just got a text in your feed or in your phone. But also internationally, if you can't text the number, just go to drboyceelevate.com, drboyceelevate.com. So I really want to see how many of you also are international, how many of you are coming in from other countries, because I want to know if it's actually working. And I see Linda from Cincinnati, Adrian's from Louisville, Kentucky. I love Louisville. That's my city. Carolyn out of Michigan, Sharon out of Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. Y'all, first of all, my condolences for that horrible football game last year. I was heartbroken. My stomach turned when I watched that game. And I'm not even a Lions fan. So I said, if I'm heartbroken and I'm not even a Lions fan, I can only imagine how the Lions fans must really feel right now, because that was just terrible. That game, oh my Lord. I haven't seen anything that bad since Atlanta blew it. And after the Atlanta game, I called my Uncle John, who was a big Atlanta Falcons fan, who had waited 30 years for them to get a chance to win the Super Bowl. And I just said, man, I'm so sorry. But anyway, Gail, Richmond, Virginia. Let's see. I see Henry out of Austin, Texas. Sarah out of Burnsville, Minnesota. Gigi, Florida. Okay, Barry's out of Trinidad. Great. Brandon, Philadelphia. Cassandra out of Birmingham. Gwen, also out of Louisville. Very nice. Travis, Northern Virginia. Michael Wilson from Cali. Helena, good morning to you. I see Zoe and Justin out of Nevada, Henderson, Nevada. Noah out of LA. Okay, I'm looking for the layout. If you're international, let me know if you're international. I want to see how many international people we have here, because I want to make sure I want to reach other people around the world. But I know I got some Black London in here, because y'all love me and I love y'all. Let's see here. Okay, I see Andre out of Jamaica. Let's see, what else do I see? Okay, I'm looking for international. Anybody? I know some. Come on, some of y'all got to be international. No, Elaine out of Northern California. Okay, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Kalamazoo, Michigan's not international, Kevin, but I appreciate you sharing that with me. Who's international? Let's stop for a minute. I want international only. Who's international? Miramar. That sounds international. Okay. I'm kidding. Unless it's like a part of Florida or something. I'm not, I failed geography class in school. Okay. So, all right. So we're not big on the international. All right. Good. So what I got to do is I got to make sure I fix that. So, thank you for sharing that. And that looks like we're all over the US for sure. I see Phoenix and, let's see, New York and St. Louis and Arizona. All right. But I did not see a lot of international, which means that we want to fix that. I want to reach out to more people. Okay. Thank you. John spoke up from the UK. Okay. That's good. All right, and I see Big Island, Hawaii, Liverpool for Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy, you live in Liverpool? I thought Jimmy's a comedian. He's really, are you being a comedian right now, Jimmy? Or are you really, anyway, all right. So by the way, Jimmy's gonna come to the convention one year. We've been trying to get him to come out and do his comedy because he's funny and he's smart. I like smart, funny people. He's kind of like a Dave Chappelle-ish kind of guy. And I'm gonna tell you, the All Black National Convention literally is the place where stars are born. No joke. So Killer Mike came to our All Black National Convention, our very first one. He just won 3 Grammys. Who else? D1 has come to probably 3 or 4 conventions. He's become one of the biggest rappers out there. He's been taking on all the big giants, and I saw him the other day with KRS-One and stuff like that. Victory Boyd came to a couple of conventions. She went to sing for Jay-Z, and Jay-Z heard her sing one time and he signed her on the spot. She's now, I saw her kicking it with Adele or something. Like she's really doing the big thing. And then her siblings, Victory siblings, performed at the convention. They just did a sold out tour all throughout Europe, and they're blowing up. They're called Infinity Song. You got to look them up. They got 1 million followers on Instagram now, and they're just doing great. I'm so happy. I like to see the right people have high levels of success, and I also, and this actually spins into our topic for today. I don't like to discover people after everybody discovers them. I don't like to Christopher Columbus my way through life where you discover stuff that other people already discovered and then say, look at what I found. And that to me is connected to what we're talking about today in terms of how you want to think about investing, how you want to think about money. There are people who don't know how to do anything without Christopher Columbusing their way through everything. They follow the crowd. They do things other people have already done, and maybe it's because we need this external validation, or we think that because everyone's doing it that it must be okay. It's certainly going to be trendy, but trendy is not always right. Trendy is not always right, and so when I talk about the people that we discovered at the convention, when I pick people to speak at the convention and people to perform and all that, I'm not picking people based on um how mainstream famous they are. I don't give a damn about that. I really don't care. In fact, being mainstream is actually a negative because I know what the mainstream is made of. I know how the decision makers make their decisions. I know about the people who have the capital, the millions and billions of dollars required to make someone famous, and I know their mindset. I know their culture. So I'm not impressed by that. If you say I'm famous because white people put me on TV for the last 10 years, well, I'm going to look at you strange and say, well, why did they put you on TV? How many Diddy parties did you have to go to in order for you to be on television like that? How many whose butt did you have to kiss? Whose agenda are you fulfilling? All right, because you can't be this can't be something that is independent at that point because you kind of got famous really fast. And I think it's because you're connected to the right people. And I applaud you for that. I'm happy for you. But where's the substance behind what you're doing? So when I reached out to people, like for example, Jay Ortiz, who's a rapper out of Philadelphia, I reached out to Jay to perform at the convention because I thought Jay's a nice guy. He gets the B1 concept. He's got some talent, a lot of talent, and now he's performing on the road with Kevin Gates and stuff, and I'm really happy for him. And again, I take pride in that idea that I like it when we see our greatness before everybody else does.